My good friends are in the studio. Susu Graham, Citi Sports coach, Christopher, namely Citi Sports as well. Gentlemen, interesting weekend. Coach, you were pitch side in Kumasi. I always like it when you are pitch side because I know that you will bring a lot of juice and a lot of candidness to the conversation. How was your Kumasi trip?
I would say very interesting because at the end of the day, we were there to support our national team. It had nothing to do with what has transpired in Qatar. I think the people of Ashanti needed to send a very strong signal, especially to the managers of our team, that this is ours. The Black Stars, and for that matter, every other national team belongs to the people of Ghana. And in Ketia, the support base was absolutely massive. Look, I think you could compare this to the game against Nigeria in terms of support. The only difference that the Nigerian game brought a bit more tension, a bit more bite because they are by far our biggest rival on the continent. But in terms of Ghanaians showing their love for our Black Stars were absolutely brilliant. For me, yes, shambolic performance in the World Cup, but it starts all over again. It is not our bona fide right to go to the Mondial and win the tournament. But we wanted to show the players that we love you. And we've gotten to the stage where it is time. I repeat, it is time. They give us what is deserving of the people of this country. It's been 42 years since we won any major tournament. That game against Angola, I believe strongly, is the journey to put an end to a 42-year wait.
Big statements there. Susu, what has your international weekend been like? Different from the club weekends?
Yes, it's a bit different without the Premier League, you know. I've even found myself watching some other sports to kind of pass the time, you know. I was watching a bit of ice hockey on Saturday night, you know. But it's just different, and I like it because I think everyone likes I think a lot of fans don't like the international break because their teams are not playing. But I think it's also important for countries to play. And a lot of these teams go home and then their fans can see the players who are playing abroad in their flesh and that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good time for the fans of football, especially the ones who are more stadium going. And because, I mean, if you don't watch the Eredivisie, there's not much on TV unless you have certain paid subscriptions. You won't get to watch them. So the people of Kumasi go to see Mohamed Kudus play, for example. It's not something they are going to get all the time. So these small things, those type of things have been happening all over the world. We are seeing Ronaldo is breaking some records here. Messi too is doing his thing. There's a lot of interesting things happening. It's great to see. So I think I like the international break because it's a different flavor. But
different flavor indeed. That guy who broke the fence and ran onto the pitch is called Dembaba. The pitch invader. He said, and I've seen a video of him saying that he used to do this at Stamford Bridge.
No, I know we are all laughing and stuff because nothing happened in, but it's a huge security problem. And I will point to the incident of Monica Seles. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of her. She was a tennis player. She was coming up. She was about 19, 20 when a fan kind of went and stabbed her courtside, and she lost a few years of her career and that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. I understand the fans. They're excited to see their players, but it's a security risk.
And this is the second time it's happening during the Black Stars game. It happened, I think, in the Cape Coast, at the Cape Coast Stadium. Ghana versus South Africa, it happened. I
get the fans are excited to see their players, but the security needs to be there because it could be someone dangerous.
Let me tell you what happened. You see, I was more or less at the commentary section with the media guys. And then, you know, on top, that is where the VIP people are. And there was this security man. I got one of the big men who sat at the VIP, told me this story. He said there was this security guy, police guy. There were many. They were all there to do a job. He stuck to the job. Very disciplined. To the extent that even when the goal was scored, I was told that he didn't even tend to watch.
And he
was very much concerned about his job. He was there to do the job, and that was so. At the end of the day, you got one of the big men, more or less, asking people who had seen the job the young man to put together some small money.
For him.
And then they collected something good and they gave it. Look, all his colleagues, none of them were that disciplined.
And I see this at the stadium all the time.
Yeah.
Security people lose their concentration. They are taking selfies. They are taking videos when the game is good. I see it all the time. Look, I was even coming to the Demba Bar incident. I was about to say that, look, as much as, like I was saying, I found it kind of amusing, it was interesting that he was getting interviewed as a pitch invader. That is lending credence to bad behavior.
That should be condemned.
And that's exactly why when you watch the Premier League and stuff, when people come on the pitch, they don't show they put on the pitch.
Exactly.
Do you remember was it Everton Newcastle? There was some game where a guy came and chained himself to the goalpost. I don't know if you remember this incident.
Yeah. I think I do.
The game went for 2. We were covering on the Premier League.
Yeah.
We watching on the TV couldn't see why the game was stopped. We saw a guy walking with wire cutters to go and cut the guy off the post. But on the cameras, you won't see what's going on.
Yep.
But it's on social media people post because they don't want people to get that thing. Because they were doing it for a campaign, that kind of, because people, because it's the Premier League. People are watching.
Yeah.
So they don't want the pitch invaders to get, like, I know we are laughing, but we should also be looking at the serious
Exactly.
side.
So
we dodged the bullets that it was someone who was just a fan, just wanted a picture.
He could have had anything.
He could have had anything.
Let's be better with our security.